Welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and for today's guest, How rude. Today's guest is Dooper, the director of the upcoming indie video game Toasty, Ashes of Dusk, as well as a fun, sensational, low-poly VTuber. Look, I have watched a good bit of Dooper's streams, and I knew that he was just going to be fun no matter what we talked about on this podcast, so I was so grateful for him to take the time to sit down and chat about the game, chat about his experience with VTubing, and so much more. If you guys enjoyed the conversation, and I know you will, make sure you support Dooper with the links down below. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. I see that stuff. I absolutely love it. If you want a place to further discuss the podcast or just be part of a fun little community, maybe you should consider being a part of the Postmod Art Pod Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. There we have a bunch of fun, wonderful artists and former guests that are all just getting together to have a fun time. Links to that will be in the description below. Another link you could potentially explore is by checking out the merch shop. There you find some incredible designs done by some former artists and former guests of the podcast as well that did an outstanding job to really showcase what the podcast is all about. Rep that incredible merch today at pmap.creator-brain.com. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know, this is going to sound completely stereotypical gamer, but I just drank one of those Mega Man G Fuels because Mega Man was on the can.
I mean, to be fair, that's why I drank the Sonic G Fuel not too long ago. You know, it's because that Sonic.
Oh, the Peach Ring.
Yeah, the Peach Ring. You know,
that one's really good.
You know, funny enough, I used to work. There was like a short couple month span to where I actually worked at a beer distribution place, but on top of the beer we had an entire room that just had waters and energy drinks, and we carried all the G Fuels that would be distributed to all of Northeast Georgia.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, are you in Georgia?
Yes, I am.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, no. I told you whenever I messaged you this stuff, I'm like a night owl on the weekend, so this is perfect for me.
Oh, no, I was talking about the time. I'm saying sorry that you live in Georgia.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, that's actually where Bloops is from.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she's from a very small area that has a reputation.
I was going to say, to be fair, I live close to Athens, Georgia, where the university is and stuff, so, yeah.
See, I didn't even know there was an Athens, Georgia.
Well, now you know. There's an Athens.
There's a Rome and an Athens?
Yep.
What the fuck?
It's like
Sparta, Georgia.
It's like we're trying. Well, I mean, there's a good couple of high schools that call themselves the Spartans, so you're not too far off.
Oh shit.
No, but it's we try to be super high and mighty with the Rome comparison or Greece comparisons or whatnot. Well, at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of guys hanging out in cow fields or whatnot. That's all we are.
I was born and raised in California.
Okay, lucky.
So, yeah, well, yeah.
I was gonna say I say lucky, but then you also gotta consider the fires and the earthquakes, and I wonder why some people are still standing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't even live there anymore. I wish I could. I think that's the worst part of it though, is because you grew up there, you love it, you wish you could go to all the places that you were familiar with when you were a kid, and then. Hey, guess what? $2,500 for a studio apartment, and you're just like, this is bullshit.
Yes, I can totally get where you're coming from. Also, I appreciate the fact that the soundboard is keeping her through.
Sorry about that.
No. I was gonna say, feel free to litter that throughout. I am more than willing to have that be part of it if you want.
Oh. I broke, so my microphone was broken actually, and I was trying to figure out a way to, because I was playing Phasmophobia with some friends. My mic wasn't working. I'm like, how can I tell them different things? So I was going online, and I was like, I gotta find a stock yes sound. I'm like, oh wait, no. Yes, that's the one.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the fart noise would have worked efficiently as a yes as well.
Yeah, they were just like, Dooper, did you die? Yes.
Both of them are perfect for Phasmophobia as well.
Yeah, exactly.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, you're gonna make me crack this entire time, and I appreciate that already. All right, Dooper. Before we really get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast. Let's say you get an opportunity to go to a deserted island on your own accords. It is just you, alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, and get to truly enjoy yourself for a little bit. To help with those vibes, more or less, you can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever mentality you're trying to go with. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
I gotta refrain from singing the One Piece intro after you just said One Piece, but I'd probably have to say some sort of like boombox or something that can play music, and it would just be Outside Island.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Love the niche reference right there. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good connection.
I think after like 3 years on a deserted island, and it's just and I'm like slamming my head into a tree, losing my mind.
Look, I didn't say you were stranded on this deserted island. I just said you're going to a deserted island on your own accord.
Okay, well then fast forward 3 years later, I'm slamming my head in the tree while Outside Island's playing. I'm not very bright.
I was like, just because you wanted to be on the island for 3 years, got you.
Yeah. We were just like cruising by, like, what the heck's that guy doing?
It's like, that seems about, they get closer and they realize who you are. It's like, oh yeah, no, that seems par for the course. Never mind, just keep going. But nevertheless, that answer that you gave, that's your answer. You're locking it in.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right then. If that's the case, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You can support the podcast on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/PMAP. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. He is a low-poly VTuber with a fun vibe and also the director of the upcoming indie game Toasty Ashes of Dusk. Welcome to the podcast, Dooper!
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm glad to hear that, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit down and chat. I know you are someone that every time I see something from you, whether it's your streams or just whatever shitpost Twitter thing that you do, I absolutely love it, and I knew it was only a matter of time before I brought you on this podcast, so thank you for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, no problem.
But before we really divulge you to kind of the stuff you're doing nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit, if I may. I want to know more or less the origin story of Dooper. What got you interested in art and video games in the first place?
Art and video games?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I guess it's like the typical story how it starts. Like, you get your hand on some sort of video game or some sort of piece of media, and then it kind of just, unfolds from there. I didn't have a whole lot growing up, but one got a Super Nintendo when I was like, I don't want to dox myself or anything on my age, but I got a Super Nintendo and I was just loving it. I only had one game on it, played it over and over again, and what was really fascinating about it was growing up, I didn't know that there was we didn't really have immediate access to the internet to where we know, like, oh hey, this game's coming soon, there's a sequel to this game and stuff. The only way I would actually know anything was talking to some person on the playground. I'm like, yeah, I'm really into this Banjo-Kazooie game, and then they're just like, yeah, did you know there's a Banjo-Tooie game? You're like, what? Nowadays it's like, oh yeah, I know there's a second one, and then there was an unreleased prequel, and then there was 2 Game Boy Advance games. Yeah, I get it. But ever since I really like put my hands on it, it was just like an escape. It really inspired me. I always loved that I could, just get out of the normal wake up, go to school, or wake up, do the normal typical thing, and then I could just jump into this other world where I play as this like guy with a sword, and he just saves the world. And it's like, I want to be that. I want to save the world, and it kind of just went from there. And I just been ingesting all the media that I could since, and yeah.
I mean, there you go. I mean, especially the escapism that video games just kind of more or less allow. That's one of the beautiful things I love about it more than anything else. Because I mean, you can say about this with just about any art, but like, especially like the interactiveness that comes with video games or whatnot, it's just beautiful how you could just literally go to a different world just about every single time. Like it's outstanding like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember some of the first video games that really like captured your imagination, or just some of the first video games that you like vividly remember loving?
Okay. That would definitely be A Link to the Past for me.
Okay.
On my Super Nintendo. I was obsessed with that game and Mega Man X for the
Ooh.
Super Nintendo. Um, and then a short time after, when I got my Nintendo 64, I fell madly in love with Majora's Mask.
There you go.
That game has been one of my biggest influences in any kind of creation that I do. So I mean, Link to the Past, Mega Man X, and Majora's Mask. Those are probably like my top three right there from the beginning.
You know what? That's a good foundation, if nothing else, especially the masterpieces those games were.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
when did you go from this like general love for art and video game to a passion and wanting to make it your career?
I mean, like, you're growing up, and then you're like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? Like, what do you want to do as a career? And it's like, do you want to be an electrician? I'm like, no. Do you want to work with air conditioning units? I'm like, no. Like, like a lot of the things that you hear, it's like, did you want to do this? Do you want to be management here? Do you want to be a truck driver? You want to do this? None of that seemed entertaining to me. And I loved the escapism that came with video games, and I mean, just any sort of media.
Hmm.
So of course I wanted to dive into that. True story, actually. When I want to say early high school, like sophomore freshman year, they made us do that project where we're like, what do we want to do as a career? And then it was like our year projects, and we did like a presentation with what that career is and whatnot. I
Hmm.
actually wanted to be a stop motion photographer and make a
Ooh.
stop motion film.
Okay.
Yes. So that was a big thing for me. I was always obsessed with animation, claymation, and whatnot.
I
So it
mean,
kind of just went from there.
that that's certainly ambitious as well, if not more ambitious than video games or whatnot. Because I mean, you obviously you can attest like stop motion animation just in general.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it's insane.
I assume Clay Fighters was an influence of that. No, I'm joking.
Decline to comment.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But I'm glad that that was something that truly like creatively drove you more than anything else. Seeing how you've really gone all head first with that and actually went through with it, becoming a video game developer yourself or whatnot. I imagine like once you honestly set your sights on that goal, like it must have been relieving to like find a way to get into it and really like go head first into it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, definitely. I mean, it didn't really continue going the whole stop motion route, but eventually went to game development, which was actually kind of funny in itself, and the reasoning behind that. I don't know if you have a question on like why did you choose game development or anything,
I was
but
kind of lead in that direction, so yeah.
yeah, I'll wait till that comes up. But yeah, it's crazy how it all kind of like intertwines.
Well, if that's the case, why don't we just jump right to it then? What exactly got you? What got you into game development? What made you want to go with that as your career?
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no. Hey, you're
Eh,
perfectly fine.
all right, good. So with game development, um, the reasoning behind that, right, is God. This is gonna sound like incredibly weird. I was always the kind of person that I was always chasing something that was I want something like A Link to the Past, but with something with Link's Awakening too, like just like all these little different pieces. And I was like, this is the kind of game that I want to play. You know?
Okay.
And I'd always constantly be chasing these different games, like different like weird genres and whatnot, but I could never find it or find enough of them.
Hmm.
So um one day, this was right before the Switch. I was just on the eShop and I was just like looking around. I was like, I really want a Zelda like game, right? And a lot of people say like, I don't know, it's weird. I hear people all the time saying another Zelda like, which is so frustrating to me because I'm just like, where are they? Tell me where are they? I want those games. But I was going through and like I supported Moonlight RPG, which is a really good one.
Hmm.
And I've played a few other Zelda likes, but nothing ever kind of scratched the itch that I wanted to have scratched.
Hmm.
So I took it upon myself to just be, you know what? I'll just make the game myself. I'll make the game that I want to play. And that's how development on our game Toasty started.
You know what? That's incredible more than anything else. That's a mentality that I carry with me when it comes to like stuff with this podcast or whatnot. You know, and I know a lot of creators that I've talked to as well have that kind of same issue. I guess issue when it's one of those like you were craving something, there's something you absolutely wanted. Like for me, I wanted there to be a platform to like really showcase good artists out there, because a lot of people like will post their stuff and then it just gets like washed by the wayside from trending topics, or like they'll like the photo but then not care who made it or whatnot.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and so it's like, you know, I wasn't seeing that kind of stuff, so I'm like, screw it, I'll make it myself. And that's why I've been able to last as long as I have with this thing. And I can only imagine, like for you, especially now that like you've really got Toasty going, I imagine like it must be almost relieving to know that that itch that you were trying to scratch, you're actually taking care of, taking matters in your own hand and truly creating the game you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's insanely stressful, but yeah. Are you right?
I mean, no one said it was going to be easy. If that was the case, there would have been 20 Zelda likes already. Then you wouldn't have to
Oh
scratch
yeah.
that itch.
That's the truth. Yeah, you are right.
There you go. I mean, I know you kind of hinted at it, but I want to just jump all in when it comes to Toasty, because
Mm.
first off, for those who don't know what exactly in the world we're talking about, how would you best describe Toasty Ashes of Dusk?
Oh, you're asking me?
I'm asking you.
It's an incredibly stressful, and I'm kidding. So Toasty, Ashes of Dusk. And the only real way to really describe it though, and I don't really like to describe things as something that's like another game, you know,
Right.
like the whole like Metroidvanias, you know, you're saying it's like a Metroid, a Castlevania game, but that's like how they're described now.
Yeah.
So same thing with Zelda likes. So it's a Zelda like. So Toasty Ashes of Dusk is a Zelda like action adventure RPG. You are playing as a character named Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
and you are suffering from I wouldn't say amnesia, but you'll find out as you play the game. But you continue through the game, and you encounter many wacky characters, and ultimately you stop a very powerful evil. The game is very inspired by A Link to the Past, Majora's Mask, Chrono Trigger, Persona, Final Fantasy VII, and Pokemon Blue. Surprisingly, so
Yeah, I
we
can
got
see it.
a lot of weird inspirations in there. What we do is, or what we're doing with the game is, we're taking a lot of the things that we love about other games and expanding on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's Toasty.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, hey, if nothing else, like that's a great way to describe it. And I know, like, just hearing that alone, like the story alone, like what little bits are out there or whatnot. That's one of the things I love about this wholly like original story. What inspired you to want to like tell a story, the story of Marshall, more or less?
Uh, well, I don't know. Well, for me, it's just worked on this story, and I was like, wow. And then like the story this became more fleshed out and became more powerful and very emotionally driven. And I wanted other people to experience that story in an incredibly fun medium. You know, I could have wrote out that story and just throw it on a doc and then, you know, put it out for people to just read, but I wanted people to play it.
Mhm.
So that's what you get with Toasty.
There you go. Plus, I just want to say I do appreciate the fact that you named the marshmallow Marshall. Just saying, that is a perfect choice. It's very
Oh
simple but
yeah.
very efficient.
It's you're you're going to when you play Toasty, you're gonna find out some more things, and you're gonna be like, that llama I spoke to is so clever. There's more to it, and that's what I'm really excited about.
Oh, you just give me like little teases and little crumbs, and
Uh-huh.
I'm just craving more and more. I do want to also ask another aspect of it, and it could be just for simplicity's sake, but one of the things I also love and appreciate about the game is the art that you have, the pixel art for it. Was that just
Hmm.
a conscious decision when it comes to like practicality and producing the game you want, or is that something more of like an homage to those games that influenced Toasty?
It's a combo of both, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of games that we want to eventually build and make.
Okay.
The story with Toasty, like I said, you know, I wanted more Zelda-like games. So we kind of just immediately were like, okay, top down, Zelda like, think Minish Cap. Let's go that direction. And that's what we did. And we started out with that, and then we kind of just took a lot of inspiration from the games that we love, the different styles and pixel art, and we even would look at something like something that would inspire us from a 3D game, and we're like, how would that translate into 2D? And then we just experiment. And our pixel artist, Voxid, they are just a powerhouse, and they're just out there just doing an amazing job.
I mean, I'm gonna give them all the roses and all the applauses that I can as well, because they are knocking it out of the park with, again, what's out there. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible the characters that you've introduced so far and the characters you've teased. The world is another thing that I just absolutely admire. Like, it's got to be one of the most unique worlds I have seen out there. Like, just how wide and expansive and how diverse it can be. Was that another, like, conscious thing you were thinking of going into this game?
Yes, that was definitely our goal. The thing is with the game and the characters and whatnot, it can get very all over the place. Not to a point where it's overwhelming, but we wanted the world to kind of reflect that as well.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, especially with some of the unique characters in there. I mean, I'd have to say my personal favorite one has to be this unique little side character. I think it's like a llama living out of a tent or something like that.
Oh my god!
I feel like he has potential to be a major
My
part of
god!
the game. So,
Oh my god!
in all seriousness, no, it has to be just fun and cheeky just to be able to insert yourself in a game like this.
So actually, and I don't even know if this is one of your questions though, but like uh, so when developing Toasty, we all decided that, oh, we should have some sort of like insert in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't have any like defining like persona or anything like that. I wear beanies. Llamas are my favorite. So my dev team put me in Toasty as a llama with a beanie on their head. So
Oh.
from that point on, I kind of just adopted that. I'm like, all right, fine, I'm a llama with a beanie, and that's kind of how everything else kind of went. So
Oh.
Toasty was the reason I'm the way I am.
That was something I was going to ask about later, but I'm glad to know that the origin is there. And that's something I'll definitely touch back on whenever I get to that
Oh yeah,
point.
we'll get more
No,
detail later.
that's hilarious though. I applaud you. Again, I just got to keep applauding you for that. That's just funny more than anything else.
Hmm.
I I can only imagine there's only so much you could probably talk about this, considering the fact that, it's still early in development or whatnot, but from what you have shown or whatnot, is there something that you're excited for the fans to see whenever this game does come out?
Uh, well, 100% the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. It is in no way. Um, it it's going to be very intense, I guess,
Okay.
is what I want to say. I'm really excited for people to really enjoy the story. The story is going to take them all over the world of Guildia. And with the characters, they're not just, oh, this character right here, they have this funny little dialogue and like that's it. No, it's like you encounter this character over here, like throughout the story over in Docktown, which is the port area in Toasty. You
Okay.
encounter them, you're like, oh, they're kind of funny, and like they tell you kind of like where to go, and you're like, oh, they kind of look a little weird, whatever. And then like 3 areas later, you encounter that same person again, and they're like in this casino town called Avarice City, and they're doing something entirely different, or maybe like they're like, I don't know, like rummaging through a trash can or something because they lost all their money or something. Like the story with the game is there's so much going on with like all the little characters, and there's all these little side quests too you can do with characters alongside a trading sequence, which is super inspired by Link's Awakening. So if you like that stuff, then that's in there.
I'm already telling you right now, I knew I was already excited for this game on so many different levels. Again, I'll say it again. Every little bit that you're sharing right now just gets me more and more hyped. More than anything else, just like I appreciate, like, especially you telling me all the different influences that went into it or whatnot. I knew there was a lot of love and passion going into this game, but just knowing a little bit more just exactly how much it was, I know that whatever you're able to push out is going to be an incredible product one way or another.
Oh, thank you for that.
Absolutely. And I know I'm not the only one, obviously, because you've had at least a couple of Kickstarters, but I know your most recent Kickstarter, I just
Yeah.
have to say, wow, the support that Kickstarter got. I can only imagine how exciting it must have been for you to get that support through there and to see the people really wanting this game, like especially seeing how that Kickstarter performed.
Oh yeah, that was That was amazing. That was incredible. We didn't even think we'd get that high. With with the first Kickstarter, it was we did everything we could, but nobody saw it. That was really the issue with the first Kickstarter. Nobody really saw the Kickstarter. We didn't have like very good marketing. We didn't really know what we were doing. The second one was, hey, let's do some merchandise, so we can like get some sort of funding into the project, and that was the merch starter we did.
Yep.
And that went with the Break Kickstarter campaign or thing that they were doing promo on their website. I don't remember exactly. But then the last one that right here we have a publisher now, so they helped us with marketing, and we were able to get our game's name out there a bit, and flew past 100K, and that was a very, very interesting day when that happened. I didn't think we'd get that far.
Oh, I can only imagine. A little side note, I realized recently that I actually helped support the merch Kickstarter, that second one. I have some stickers.
Oh, you did?
I have some stickers somewhere in my room. I don't know where it is off the top of my head, but I remember I still have that little packet of stickers that I got from that merch Kickstarter. So
Oh yeah, those stickers are great. You got I think on those stickers I think you get the funnel cakes, you got Pudge the cat, Scrump the cat, and then Wilhelm, Wilson, Warbeck, and Marshall. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, there were some wonderful stickers. I just remember like seeing that little Kickstarter and like knowing that I wanted to help out. I couldn't help with the big Kickstarter because I was in the middle of like switching jobs and my money was low. But I mean, again, there was a lot of love support anyways. You were able to get that thing through 20-fold at that point.
Yeah.
But it's incredible, and obviously, the Kickstarter, went through. You guys are working hard on this game or whatnot. Whenever it does roll out, whenever you guys are ready to unveil this onto the world, what should the fans expect from Toasty?
Well, what should they expect? What do I say without sounding kind of full of myself? Well, with Toasty, I don't think you know what you're gonna expect. I don't know, very good. I don't know, good amount of time, good amount of hours playing. Like anything I could think of, I'm like, oh yeah, expect an amazing story. No, because that sounds full of myself. Expect a complete incredibly built. No, that sounds full of myself. I'm just like beating myself up over here. Expect a game made by a bunch of Super Nintendo nerds and like the things that you may have loved in the games that you played growing up being referenced and reflected in Toasty with its own unique charm.
There you go. That is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself.
Thanks. I tend to ramble.
There you go. Hey, trust me, this is a podcast. This is built for rambling, all right?
Yeah, that's right.
Suppose we gotta get to an hour somehow. No, I'm joking.
Oh yeah, hey, just keep talking. Just keep saying things.
Look, I'll say it like this: I've had episodes that were like 30 minutes long or whatnot, but I've also had episodes that were like 2.5 hours long. I don't think we should be. Yeah, no, it's one of those. I've mentioned it before. It was by an artist by the name of My Emerald Tears, and she was just going all in about like her world and her characters and whatnot. Wonderful person, absolutely loved them. But back to you real quickly. As well as creating this incredible, game and really getting this game off the ground, you've also tend to have, I don't know if I'd call it a side gig, but this incredible, unique character that you've also presented onto the world, and that is yourself, Dooper, as the VTuber.
Hi, I'm Dooper. Hi, how you doing?
Yes. I know. Let me start by asking this question. What got you interested in streaming in the first place? Wanted to go and tackle that?
So this is gonna be like the weirdest thing ever. Like a lot of people have their reason with streaming is like, oh, I want to, build a community, or I want to be a big league streamer or something. My reasoning for streaming was to make myself sit down and play a video game, because otherwise I wouldn't do it. If that makes sense. Like, I am my own worst enemy. I am the kind of person where I need to constantly be in some way productive.
Okay.
If I'm playing something for too long, then I start to really beat myself up, and you're like, why am I doing this right now? I could be working on Toasty. I could be doing this. I could be doing this. Like, I'm just wasting time right now.
Okay.
With streaming, it was more of like everybody is holding me accountable to spend time playing a game and just having fun. And that's why I decided to start streaming.
You know what? That's fair. I mean, I honestly, Honestly, I relate to what you're talking about because I'm the kind of person to where like I could enjoy a game for like a little bit, but if I'm like spending too long, I'm just thinking to myself
Mhm.
like, why am I just constantly doing this? There's like there could be nothing else I could do, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, there could be something else I could be doing right now.
Exactly. That's why I'm scared to even touch Elden Ring. Like,
Oh
like
goodness.
all my friends, like an entire Twitter feed was just like, all right, I'm about to play Elden Ring, and then like 6 days later, they're just like, hey, sorry about the silence. I've been playing Elden Ring, and I'm over here just like, I'm so scared to even touch that. I have too much I gotta do. I can't do that.
As well as you can't devote hours of your life into a video game like that, you're devoting hours of your life developing your own video game.
Exactly, exactly. Even after I do that, even after I release the game, am I gonna be content with that? Probably not, but that's why I'm streaming. So now it's like, with streaming, if it wasn't for streaming, I would have never played through the Sly Cooper series.
Oh, you
I'm
know
at the
what? Fair
very end of
enough.
I'm at the very end of 4 right now, and I would have never played through them if it wasn't for streaming.
You know
And
what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, especially for games like that, as much as I love Sly Cooper, I feel like they don't get those games don't get the love that they should. Like in the long run, like at the time, I'm sure people absolutely loved it, but like you don't really hear about it until like someone like yourself is just playing it randomly.
yeah, yeah, and I actually noticed that too. I started playing it, and it just felt like the Sly Cooper conversations and dialogue started to kind of kick back up with my community. And then like I would like share a clip of like a part that happened in Sly 2. Someone's just like, oh man, I remember this, and I was always stuck here or something, and like people were just engaging with me, and then they're like, man, I really want to play Sly again. And then I got like friends that are streaming Sly Cooper because they were watching me play Sly Cooper, and it's really nice to see how that kind of just does a nice little ripple effect.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, like streaming alone is already an interesting task on its own, but you also decided to go with a VTubing aspect as well. What got
Oh
you
yeah,
interested in VTubing, and what made you decide you wanted to be a part of that?
I'm a VTuber.
I think so. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't realize I was talking to an actual low poly llama. I'm
Oh
sorry
yeah.
for assuming that.
Okay. All right. So, all right. When I first started streaming, I was doing it as just a webcam streamer,
Hmm.
so a face cam streamer. Sometimes my face cam would just be off, and I'd have a cute little GIF of my llama version just sitting on um, Darth Sidious's throne, drinking a Slurpee, and it would like move and stuff. And eventually, one of my really good friends, their name's Mulgado. They're about to release Frogun.
Okay.
They made a low poly model of my llama, and my friend Foxid, who's also the pixel artist for Toasty, one day I was just like, "Hey, can I have that model? Like, I want to like play around with it." Well, they rigged it,
Ooh.
and they like gave it to me, and it was like, "Hey, download this and see like if you can like move around with it." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So I have like my own like on-screen little mascot moves with me. That's pretty cool. And I remember that happened when I was in the middle of my Mega Man marathon. I think it was like on Mega Man 3.
Okay.
And I started using my that VTuber model, and it was my first version of it. We couldn't figure out getting all the textures to appear. The mouth wouldn't move with me talking, but the head would move.
Hmm.
So I kind of just did it with that from that point on. I'm like, you know what? I really like this. And it kind of just grew from there. We found out how to enable all the textures. We got all the mouth tracking to work, and that was the Duper 1.0. And that was my original model.
Right. Right. And I mean, goodness. One, isn't it awesome that you have like cool, awesome friends to help you out with this stuff?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I am nothing without my friends. I would not even be where I am if it wasn't for my friends.
Absolutely. And I imagine that, especially like once you got started with that, and I imagine once people started noticing the model and really started attracting to that, like, was it almost kind of interesting how interesting was it for you to see kind of the response to you as a streamer?
It made me happy actually. When I started really pushing it a little bit more, I didn't know it was called VTubing. First off, I didn't even start using the VTuber tag for a little bit,
Fair
which is
enough.
weird because usually it's these bigger VTubers and whatnot, and I didn't even know about any of it. So um, it was really nice though because people would come to the stream and then they'd be like, "Oh, your model, it's just like it reminds me of Mega Man Legends," and I'm just over here just like, "That's one of my favorite games of all time. Thank you for that." And more people will come in and be like, "You remind me of N64 days and stuff." And my stream layout is a classic CRT TV, and there's like an N64 under it, and I have chat, and chat used to pop up on a faded Chrono Trigger strategy guide,
Mm-hmm.
but I needed to do some like resizing. Eventually, I threw them into a 3D moving Game Boy on my screen now.
Yes.
But like people would come in and be like, "Oh, the N64, and oh, that's what your model's theme is," and they love it. And there's a lot of love towards retro games and the limitations that games had to work with back in the day, and people really appreciate it, and that makes me feel better. And yeah, low poly. Way to go.
Absolutely. Plus, I want to say, quick little aside, when it comes to like the bigger name VTubers and whatnot, I didn't even know about VTubing until Chester, Chester the Otter. I saw like him get some, yeah, I saw them getting some like I think I saw one of their clips, like someone had retweeted like some of their clips or whatnot, and I just absolutely incredible how that was the one. And also Sam Higgins, Eldritch Grandpa or Artsy Grandpa, another one that like got me into like understanding VTubing and really falling in love with like streaming as a whole. Like before I didn't even pay attention to streams in general, and then they were the ones that like got my foot in the door of like watching streams and supporting others. So
Right.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. Plus, I love like you had the original Dooper model, like the pixel art. When did you decide to evolve it into more or less the basically the Dooper 64 model?
You mean the one I have now?
Yes, exactly.
So, before I even started doing the VTubing thing, I still have a channel artist. Their name's Dreamy Boo. They're an incredibly talented and one of my best fucking friends. They're family to me now. They made my emotes for me, and it was their version. It was their style of like my llama self, and it was very different from the model that I had used. Eventually time went on, and I decided to talk to Vox, and I said that, hey, I think I want the next iteration of my model to be closely more matched to how my emotes look, and that's how I am now.
Well, there you go. I mean, hey, it's incredible how the influence of incredible friends leads to kind of the current aesthetic and what you got going on. I know I'm kind of like that with my co-showrunner and someone that does like a lot of my thumbnails or whatnot, Tipsy J Hearts. She does like a lot of my merch and all that stuff, and like the art that she has or whatnot is a lot of the art that like I use to like represent where I can, because it's just incredible. So
Yeah.
what was I gonna say? Words, wonderful. I also love more or less like just the vibe that you like to bring with your streams and such. Like it's incredible what you've been able to bring to it. Like was for you, like what is this is gonna sound like a high class question or whatnot, but what is like
Say it, do it.
what is streaming to you? Like for you, like whenever you like start a stream or whatnot, is it like just a good vibe that you just want to like carry to everyone or something along the lines of that? Like whenever you start a stream, what's like the mentality going into it?
This is gonna sound super cheesy, so don't make fun of me, all right?
I never intend on making fun of you, okay?
You say that, but you're gonna be editing this and be like, oh my god, I can't fucking. No, my vibe going in though is, and I even say this sometimes on stream, or I have a few times, is when I'm streaming and I have chat watching and we're all interacting and having a good time, it's nostalgic for me, because to me it feels like we're all just a bunch of friends. We're all like at my house. I'm playing a game on the TV, and we're all just BSing with each other. Mom brought out the pizza rolls, maybe like lightning just struck and like hit something outside. I don't know, but like we're all hanging out. We're all having a good time, and that's what streaming is to me. So I'm experiencing these games, and then I'll have like friends chime in, like people pop up in chat, and they'll be like, oh yeah, did you know this person did this in this game? And it's like, oh wow, like all this dialogue is happening, and it just seems so natural. It seems like how it would be, as if we were all sitting on the couch together playing a game. So that's kind of how I like it. Look at it, like those classic Halo LAN parties and stuff,
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a good vibe more than anything else, and something that I definitely appreciate. And also, I forgot to ask this thing sooner, but another key aesthetic of you is obviously your name. How did you settle on the name Dooper to kind of represent you?
Oh my god. So this is a really interesting one. So my wife, Blooper, she is really, 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 really good and into Splatoon.
Okay.
and she used to play it all the time. Splatoon 1 on the Wii U. She still plays the second one, but um, the name of the character on that was Blooper. After the
Oh.
Mario blooper thing. So she always went by Blooper for that reason. And originally, I wanted to do content with her. And I was
Okay.
just like, well, I want to rhyme with you. So I came up with Dooper. So it was like Dooper and Blooper. And that's the reason why I am Dooper now, is because I just wanted to rhyme with my wife.
You came up with a name just to do some content with your wife. That's kind of No, that's sweet. That is
Yeah,
genuinely sweet.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just waiting for the one day you guys decide to like have a pet in the house or something like that, and you're gonna name them Super, so you can have Super Duper
Oh my
Blooper.
gosh. So we have a corgi. His name's Scoops.
There you go. Sorry, Scooper Duper Blooper. There you go.
Yep.
Um, if you can think of like a moment or a stream ever since you started streaming that if you were to present it to someone and have it be like, if you want to get an idea of what I am presenting and whether or not you're gonna like it, can you think of a particular clip or a particular stream that truly encompanies what a Duper stream is?
Oh, wait, you mean like pick a clip of mine or?
Like I said, either a clip or a stream, something that you can present to someone and be like, if you think you're gonna like if you like this clip, you're gonna like a stream. You're gonna like my streams.
Oh, I mean, I don't really know how to answer that question. Like, I could like, uh, do I just like pick out a clip, or
I mean,
do you want me to like?
I was gonna say like if you have something like whenever I ask that question, if there's like a particular moment or again like a stream in mind, or if you have nothing, I completely understand that with just how you have them as a whole or whatnot. There's so many. I can imagine there's so many different moments to just pick from.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's so many. Like every stream, I feel like there's about 20 plus moments from the stream that like get clipped, and then they're just so ridiculously over the top with, especially with chat interaction and the
Yes.
different things that I've programmed into the stream. You know, somebody raids, my entire chat just explodes. All my mods refund all the points. Everybody is farting. Everybody's throwing things at me. Somebody just immediately gifts like through 30 subs. I have to drop 3 claws on into the claw mini game, and it's always gonna draw jail. And I said, hey, until we hit partner, all jails are going to be super jail, which sends me to another scene where I'm cuffed to a barrel and all thrown objects is 1 channel point, and everyone pelts me with those, and I die. And there's like 40 different game over screens. Like, that's every stream. That is every stream. And then I pull out the zapper from Super Mario, not sorry, Smash Brothers 64, and I'm just start shooting into them, like shooting at chat, and they're dropping thwomps on me and the windfish and a giant box, and I'm flying all over the place. That's every stream. So with picking a clip in particular is so hard for me because
Yeah.
it's just over the top every time.
You know what? I don't blame you. Two things I gotta say to that. One, good lord, I didn't realize how much stuff I've watched your streams before, but I always forget just how much chaos a stream is. I have to ask, how is your computer not blown up with all the stuff you've added for your stream?
Oh, an SSD, 32 gigs RAM, and I don't even remember the graphics card I have, but it's a good one, I guess.
If it could withstand all that chaos, I'd like to hope it's a good one.
Yeah.
Goodness. Nevertheless, like it's incredible, kind of the environment you've been able to invite with just all this chaos or whatnot. Does it amaze you more or less the community you've been able to build?
Yeah, I every day it's just it feels like a dream. I'm just incredibly lucky to have the community that I have right now. And just yesterday, right, my mic broke. I had to order a new one, and I just, hey, let's watch a movie in the Discord. And I ended up putting up, I edited together a pre-show where I ran 3 movie previews, and I did a whole silence your cell phones bit in there too. I ran the Quiznos subs commercial, the cursed one.
Oh my god!
Finished it off with now our feature presentation, and like my community is just like loving it, and they're eating it up, and we're all having a good time. We're laughing together and just watching the Sonic movie, and I'm just sitting there just like, I am so lucky to have this community and have met the people that I have met, because it all is just so worth it in the end. And I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, especially being able to grow a community like that, and especially the wealth of talented people that are in that community. Like I can only imagine just how mind blowing it is that you've been able to have that. So
Oh yeah, it is insane. Like I was playing the robots game that came out on the GameCube, that cursed one,
yes.
and I'm like screaming because I'm trying to collect all these things, and I'm rolling around in this giant ball, and I'm making jokes because I'm chasing the robot that was voiced by Amanda Bynes in the movie, and then one of my friends is just like, "Hey, check your DMs, lol," and I check, and they make a full blown animation of me rolling around in this giant ball from robots, like. Like the community is just full of so many creative people, and God, I am so lucky.
I can imagine. Plus, I would imagine you might know a thing or two about building a community, because if I may, I've heard a rumor, and I want you to confirm one way or another if this is actually true or not. I've heard a rumor that you potentially were the person behind the Froggy Chair Twitter account.
Who told you that?
If I told you, would you be mad?
Who told you? No, I promise I won't be mad. Who told you?
It was Rocco.
Who told you?
It was Rocco.
Who?
Rocco Flying.
Rocco?
Yes.
Yes, I did. That was me.
I just want to say I applaud you for taking the time and effort to do that.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. That thing blew up.
No joke. It's one of those straight up. I told I was in the server earlier, and I told him, hey, I'm interviewing Dooper later because I figured some people would be appreciative of that or would be interested in that. And Rocco's like, hey, do you want a narwhal moment? So sorry to rat you out, Rocco, but love you.
No, it's all right. I'm not even mad about it.
As well as I heard that, and I was straight up like, no way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that Twitter, wow, that thing was massive. I could not. That got derailed. I just, I could not keep up with that.
I just had to know in the first place, what made you like intrigued to start that in the first place?
Oh, because I love shit posting. I love making memes. I like laughing. I like farting and making jokes. And Froggy Chair, I love Froggy Chair. I love the meme Froggy Chair. And when New Horizons kicked off, I just was like, everybody was going on about Froggy Chair again, and I was like, now is my time. I must rise. And then I made the Froggy Chair Twitter, and I just went nuts and just crazy.
I imagine when they finally reintroduced the Froggy Chair, that must have been like a crowning achievement more than anything else.
Oh yeah, that's really was.
But nevertheless, like thinking back just from all the stuff that we talked about, whether it be with video game development or just with the streaming aspect, just thinking about your journey as a whole, does it ever amaze you that you've gotten to this point?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. It's bittersweet though.
Okay.
This is gonna get kind of real for a second there, okay. But I recently, within like the last few years, I finally have been able to get medicated. I got crazy ADHD.
Okay. Crazy
ADHD, and I finally got medicated for like 2 years. So my entire mentality is, I have to make up for lost time. You know, and I'm like, I'm super appreciative for where I am right now, but I'm constantly telling myself I have a long way to go. I got a long way to go. I need to keep going.
Yeah.
And what I have achieved and the people I've met, everything right now to this point is incredibly grateful, and it's every day feels like a dream.
Well, I'm certainly glad that you've been able to get to this point personally. I'm glad to see you continue to grow and continue to do just incredible stuff like you've been doing.
Aw, shucks. Get me crying.
Yes, I make people feel emotional. My job as a host works. But if I may, for this next question, you said you got real for that last question, but for this next one, I want to go a bit above and beyond into the clouds, if I may, and give you more or less the dream scenario. Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come up to you like, look, Dooper, we know you have done incredible stuff so far. We know that with a little extra push, you can go above and beyond to do some incredible stuff. We have access to anyone and everyone in the industry, in whatever art industry, and more money than there should be possible. We should probably be compensating video game designers, making sure they're pensions are paid and all stuff like that. But we'll focus on that later. Right now, we're focusing on you. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream Dooper project?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
The dream Dooper project is actually what we want to accomplish after Toasty.
Okay.
What we want to do, is we want to make a low poly, hack and slash RPG platformer inspired by Mega Man Legends, the funner side of the combat from Kingdom Hearts, and heavy story.
Okay.
But using Mega Man Legends style art. And I mean, perfect scenario would be able to make that game we want to make. And that's where we're going to go after Toasty. So honestly, I would just make that.
You know what? That's a good goal to aspire for. Just you describing it right there or whatnot. Like, good Lord, I just love the influences more than anything else. I always forget like how influential video games can be, not just for just other video games, but for a lot of stuff in general.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I feel like that even goes for any form of media, really. Like whatever inspires you to make what, and everything is inspired by something. There's that whole there's no such thing as an original idea anymore, but it's because we're all inspired by different things. Something is something that inspires you was inspired by something else, and that thing was inspired by something else, and yeah, it's beautiful actually.
There you go. But sadly, we gotta get down from the dream scenario and we gotta get back to reality. And I know, right? It was wonderful up there, but I'll ask the ever so generic question.
Here we go.
Where do you hope to see yourself, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
5 to 10 years from now? Oh my God. Well, Toasty will be out.
Yep. Hopefully. No, definitely.
Yeah. 5 to 10 years. Hopefully releasing that game I just described to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, really. Wherever else content creation really brings me to, but I'm grateful for what I have right now. So
there you go. I mean,
we'll see.
That's a good thing to hope for, if nothing else. As we start to wind down the conversation, I just have one last question I want to ask you. Obviously, like, you're deeply entrenched in art and video games in one aspect for another. I just have to ask, how important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
It is incredibly important. It is incredibly important for everybody. Everybody, even if you wouldn't say that you are an artist, it is. Do you appreciate art? Like, hey, you really enjoyed the cover of that Hungry Caterpillar book growing up. Guess what? That's art. You appreciate it. That art is in your life. It has affected you. And my father, my late father, he had this one saying he would tell me. He said that everybody is an artist in their own right, and everybody has a story that they want to tell, and it is your job in life to find what medium you're going to use to tell that story. So art is such an open word. It can mean anything. It could mean being a host of a podcast. It could be me streaming. It could be making a game, drawing, anything. It can be any form of art. There's literally somebody who was on the beach that made a God of War sculpture out of sand. Like, art can be anything. And whatever art form you choose to tell your story, and that's beautiful. And you want to tell that story and you want people to experience that story. So art is incredibly important for people to express themselves as well as experience and ingest.
That is wonderfully worded, both from yourself and your dad, if I do say so as myself.
Thank you.
That is all the questions I have for you, Dupe. I've already showered you with a whole bunch of praise, but I want to shower you with a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do what I want. I haven't said anything yet. Hold on. Hold the tears. Hold the tears. There you go. Duper, ever since I've first gotten to know about yourself and your streams and whatnot, it's always been entertaining every single chance I get to see, whether it be a clip on Twitter or whether it be one of your streams. You've always been one of the more entertaining peoples I've seen out there, and I always enjoy your presence. Knowing as well the Toasty and like the stuff that's going into that, and seeing that truly grow organically with its own community or whatnot, it's incredible to know that you're getting the opportunity to truly live out part of your dream and really get to go forth and make something incredible. And it's something that, you know, every single time I see something new about it, I'm just excited and rooting for you every single step of the way. Getting the chance to sit down with you and get to talk to you, get to hear your backstory or whatnot, whatever high level appreciation I've had is higher, and I didn't even think that was possible in the first place. So at the long and the short of it is, thank you for being you. Thank you for providing a good outlet for people and truly being an inspiration in one aspect for another. And thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you for that.
I'm just being honest, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
Really appreciate it. But it's so hard for me to really like accept compliments like that, because like I keep saying, I would not even be where I am if it wasn't for my friends.
Absolutely.
And they're the real heroes here.
Well, hey, as long as they have someone
I just scream into the microphone and fart.
I mean, someone's got to be the ringmaster of this freak show, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I'll do it.
If that's the case, I also want to say shout out to all the artists that you have, and shout out to all the friends that have helped you along the way, because seriously, like, as someone that also has a lot of people behind me trying to help make something happen or whatnot, I completely understand where you're coming from of, you know, without them, this wouldn't be what it is. So shout out to all of them.
Oh, yeah.
For those who may not already know and are not following and supporting you in the first place, go ahead and plug yourself for the people at home.
Hold on. I got my boilerplate somewhere around here. Where is it? Oh. Wait. All right, hold up. I got it. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Dooper. I am the low poly llama VTuber variety streamer on Twitch.tv and the director and game dev for Toasty Ashes of Dusk, which is coming to consoles and PC eventually, and I can't tell you when. And I'm sorry because I'm under NDA. I do retro content. I stream it Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays on Twitch. We're having fun, and as of this interview and whenever you publish it, I have applied for partner 54 days ago, and hopefully Twitch will get back to me already. Oh my god. Yeah, you know, it's not so much fingers crossed now. Now it's like they better give it to me on day 69 or I'm going to start screaming.
You watch, just to spite you, they give it to you on day 68.
Oh, if they do, I'm going to tell them, like, take it back. Do it again.
Something tells me to not poke the beast of Twitch, but at the same time, who am I to control you at this point?
I literally, you know what, now that I think about it, probably one of the reasons why they haven't given it to me yet is because I have a video GIF on my stream where I'm punching the Twitch logo rapidly with has to be this way playing from Metal Gear Solid, just blasting. Could be one of the reasons. Like, all right, let's see what this guy's got. Oh. All right, you know what? We'll come back to this guy. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think they would take that personally. I'm sure they'd have someone up there has to have a sense of humor.
Maybe.
Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Yeah, actually. So this goes for you as well as any sort of creator who is listening to this podcast. Hi, how are you doing? Big fan. Keep doing it. Like, keep at it. And what you have to understand when it comes to content creation and social media and all of that as a whole is you can spend hours into creating something. And like you brought up earlier about the whole social media and how things kind of like see it for a second and it's gone. You can like put so much time and effort into something and it's just gone. Just put it up and then boop, it's gone. Nobody sees it anymore. It's completely gone. Don't let that discourage you. Like, keep pushing, keep doing it, and just keep doing what you're doing. If you put up a piece of art or any sort of art, you put it up, and let's say, you know, a couple days a week, and over time that brings one person who's super interested in what you are creating, then that's one person. That is one human being who is enjoying what you are creating, and that right there is incredible. And eventually that number will just keep growing. And as long as you just keep at it, You will see results. More and more people will see it. Just keep creating. And if you are in your own head and you're thinking that you're not good enough and you can't do it and you're comparing yourself to these bigger people, you need to stop it. Okay? Because I literally decided to start programming and making my own video game because I just decided that I'm just going to do it myself, you know? I'm just going to do it myself. Screw it. I'm tired. I'm just going to do it. And it's got me to where I am right now. So as long as you just keep working hard and keep at it, you will be successful. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, or maybe next year, who knows? If you just keep working at it, you'll be fine. And don't be discouraged when you see other people finding success a lot faster than you. Because sometimes it just takes the right person in the right spot at the right time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a sentiment I tried to share with what little audience I do have, you know? It's one of those, at the end of the day, like, just create the stuff that you want to. Just put the stuff out there in the world that you want to see. And if people don't see it immediately, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. If you keep it up and show people that the love and passion that you show yourself, they'll eventually see it. They'll get a chance to
Yep.
see it and love it.
Yep. And kind of like what you just said, make the content that you want to make and you make it for yourself. Like if you make some funny meme and you're laughing about it and you're like, this is making you laugh, share it. That right there is the kind of thing you should share because you want to surround yourself with people that find the same thing that you find funny. You don't want to be somebody else and surround yourself with people who are interested in something that you're not.
Absolutely. That is wonderful words, if I do say so myself. And with that, all I have left to say is for the people at home, hasta luego, mi amigos.
Bye. Bye.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me sparks in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly appreciate you sticking around to this point. Uh, like I said up at the start, this was just this was a fun conversation. Dooper, if you're listening to this point, thank you. This was the conversation that I needed when I needed it. Uh, you really do bring a good bit of energy just about everything that you do, and I greatly appreciate it. Makes me excited for what you do next. That's the thing that I always think about when it comes to just any of these guests, any of the guests that I bring on. Like, I'm not just bringing people on just to bring them on. I'm genuinely excited with what they are doing and what they could be doing next. Every artist that I brought on brings something unique and different just about every single time. Whether it be, someone that does some cool, incredible animations, someone that is putting out incredible music, people that are doing incredible video games and such. I always love what you guys are able to do, and I really hope that comes through with just about every single guest that I bring on here. It's a way for me to more directly tell these artists that I bring on, hey, you're doing an incredible job. Keep up the awesome work. I can only imagine how hard it is for an artist to feel appreciation sometimes. I could be very wrong. All I just know is that, especially when it comes to like conversations like this, when it comes to artists like Dooper or any of the other artists that I brought on, it's incredible to know what they've been able to do, what got them to this point, and it's always fun and exciting to think about what could be next. I know with Dooper, it's going to be seeing the completion of Toasty, which I am amped for, as well as seeing what new, interesting little caveats that he's going to be adding to, his streams or whatnot. I always say this at the beginning of the podcast, but make sure you do support these artists that I bring on. Make sure you show them that love and support. because they absolutely deserve it. These guys are doing everything they can to push out some incredible stuff and truly be themselves. And they're awesome people, each and every single one of them. Go out there and show that love to people. They absolutely deserve it. Show yourself some love too. You absolutely deserve it. But for the artists that are taking the time and effort, putting everything into what they do, putting their heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears, and everything into whatever they are doing, show them that love and support and show them that appreciation. They absolutely deserve it.